Hello! Welcome to Inky Art School. This video was a live class I held on Facebook as part of my free 10-day Inky Art School course. You can watch all 10 videos and get the free downloads I mention at www.johannabasford.com/Inky Art School. I'll pop a link below. And if you like this class, be sure to check out my book, How to Draw Inky Wonderlands. It's jam-packed with easy-to-follow, step-by-step tutorials, creative project ideas, and of course, it wouldn't be an inky adventure without some pages to colour. Thanks for watching and have fun! Hello everybody and welcome to Inky Art School Day 7? I can't believe it's day 7. I am just going to refresh my laptop. I just ran over and got this flowery headband because I felt a bit black and white, matchy-matchy, like I was camouflaged. I am going to dive straight in. Welcome to day 7 of Inky Art School and thank you so much for being part of this amazing creative journey with me. Today we are going to be doing a Halloween tutorial. I know it's a few days before Halloween, but I figured if you drew it just now, you could use it in some craft projects or make your own colouring sheets for the big day itself. I'm just going to dive straight in. This class is going to be slightly condensed because I have some other things happening straight after this I have to run to, and I wanted to do the class now as opposed to try and shift the time completely. I realised the UK time difference confused us all a bit yesterday, so hopefully we've worked all that stuff out. Let's dive in. So, that was like a really triumphant swipe of the space bar. And it didn't even do what I needed it to do. Today, we are going to be drawing a little Halloween candy skull. Here's a sneak peek at one I did earlier. You will need your paper, your pencils. Do you know what? I'm sitting. Can you hear that? I keep getting electric shocks every time I finish doing a live video when I turn the camera equipment off. So for some reason I thought sitting on a newspaper and some envelopes would help. I think I'm like building up static whilst filming. Is that even a thing? I don't know. Anyway, I hate getting electric shocks. I thought this might help, but it's just really rustly. I have literally no idea how my brain works or why I thought that would be a good idea, but there you go. So we are going to draw on a sheet of layout paper. The first thing I'm going to do is zoom out again. Sorry folks, getting me a bit dizzy. I'm going to fold this sheet in half. You'll see why in a second. And it doesn't even need to be a sheet of layout paper. This could be a complete sheet of scrap paper. But just do me a favour and fold it in half, because then you can slip it under the sheet you're working on or just draw a line. I just wanted to find the midpoint on this paper so that we could line everything up. Actually, that's not even going to show through. I'm just going to do a quick little, draw a little line here. There we go. So I did one of these earlier and it annoyed me that I didn't have it in the middle of the sheet of paper. So by doing that, we can just make sure that everything is lined up. Grab your ruler or the side of your sketchbook and draw a line in pencil straight down the middle, like so. Now let's get into the drawing. So the first thing we're going to do is to draw our skull shape. And we're going to draw both sides of the skull initially. Will I draw this huge or just this size? Let's draw it this size and you can scale it up if you want to. So start off by drawing a rounded sort of light bulb shape or a rainbow, an arc of a rainbow, and it needs to have this as the axis of symmetry. So there's like the scully bit, and then when I'm drawing a skull I sort of taper it under like that, 2 straight lines, and draw his chin, or her chin. Actually, I'm going to say her chin. We love the film Coco in our house, and every time Mia sees a skeleton, she says, "Ah, Mama Coco." And weirdly, Mama Coco in that movie isn't even a skeleton, but I think she just, that's what she relates that to. So there we go, we have drawn a full skeleton, sorry, a full skeleton, a full skull. Now we are going to completely ignore, so I'm actually going to make this a little bit more pronounced. Bring this more in and down so that his jawline, her jawline's a bit narrower. Okay, so we have drawn a whole skull, but we're actually only now going to draw on this half. The reason that we draw the whole one is I find drawing a half is like really difficult because you are eventually going to join up the two halves together. So if we were to draw, for example, just like this, and then try and line those up, you might find that looks a bit jarring when you eventually do that. It could be too skinny up here, it could be elongated. Whereas if you draw the whole one to start with, at least you know you're in a good position for when you join them back up again. This also applies to hearts. So even if you're only going to be drawing this side, sometimes it's better to draw the full heart first, then split it, because then at least you know you've got your proportions right. Look, like a little heart like that might look okay, but when you join that up, it's going to be really super skinny. So this is the half that we're going to concentrate on. Next up, I'm going to draw an eye socket and do this about halfway down and quite big. This is not anatomically correct, as you can tell, but you want quite a big old eye socket. Next up, I'm going to draw a little flower. So draw another circle in there. Oh, she's looking a bit spooky already. And we'll do a big marigold daisy type flower. So a petal up, down, left, right, and then one in between each. Super easy way to balance out your petals. Look, that one is much fatter than that one. That's okay. Stop aiming for perfection. Just aim at progress. I'm going to just smooth out this curve a bit. Now let's do another big flower up here. So again, even though we're only really drawing half, draw the full half circle of the middle of the flower here, just so that we get our proportions right. And let's draw the petal that will overlap the symmetry line there, and then work back along this way. There we go. I did a test one of these earlier and it took me a little longer than I would have hoped to draw. So that is the reason that we're ploughing on, because I wanted to make sure that we had enough time to do the full tutorial for you. Now I am going to do a little teardrop straight underneath the center of here. And I'm also going to draw a circle like this, just so we get our spacing right. So just follow the curve of this circle round and draw a circle that's a bit larger. Don't worry if it's wobbly. Embrace the wobbly line. Let me just check our comments. Oh, everyone's saying hello. Yes. Right. Now I'm just going to do more teardrops all the way around. I'm not going to do in here because it's just a little bit close to the symmetry line. What we might do is do a big teardrop here and then draw some circles there. I'm going to draw a little cheekbone flower here, so a little semicircle there, and then these petals we'll just do like this, and then some little leaves. So this one is like a half leaf. I'll do one here. I know I'm going quite quick, folks, but as ever, just watch this back and pause at any point that you need to. There is no hurry whatsoever. Make that a double line. Now, here's the mouth. So I like a smiley mouth. So draw your smile there. And then this will be the little row of teeth. I'm going to make these like little leaves because it is one of my books after all. And as we all know, I love a leaf. So just draw the first, unlike most of us that have two front teeth, I'm going to do one here because if we try to do a tooth on this side and a tooth on this side and the join here, if we don't get the join spot on, she's going to have like a wee gap between her front teeth, which, as we all know, is absolutely fine. It's not my job to be an orthodontist for a skeleton, but aesthetically it just annoys me if I don't get the symmetry of that tooth. So I just avoid that issue by putting one tooth in the middle. Any dentists among you or dental hygienists or nurses, this will drive you insane. Do one each side. And we don't really need to do this side, remember, because we're only drawing on one side. So those are our little leafy teeth. Let's do a little sunflower chin. So for sunflowers, I do the petals pointy. So up like this. Oh, let me do it where you can see. Up like this and sort of into a point and like that. Imagine the hair on a troll, like Princess Poppy, if you've seen that movie. There she is. There's her hair. That's what those petals are like. I am realising that I just referenced Trolls the movie and Coco. It would seem my only point of reference these days are children's animated movies, but hopefully you all know what I mean. Let's draw some little vines. And what am I going to do down here? Just going to leave that. Do you know what I've forgotten to do? Little nose. Little nose. I'm going to draw, it's almost like an apostrophe little thing like that. Nostril is the word I'm looking for. And I'm going to do a cuddle like this. And some more leaves. Be wary of cuddles that come from the centre vines and curl outwards because they will instinctively look a little bit moustachy. So if you're trying to draw a lady Mama Coco, a lady skull, avoid them. Joe, I think that might be us for the sketch. Right, that's the sketch. Grab a sheet of tracing paper. I am using this Stella Rowney tracing paper. There you go. You can absolutely use any branded tracing paper or even some, line that up, baking parchment. So that's the tracing paper just on top of our original pencil sketch, and all I'm going to do is go over these lines on this side. Start off by grabbing your ruler and draw this line first. That is our anchor point. Now I'm just going to hold this page down. If you're worried about it moving, grab a little bit of Scotch tape and tape it down. Scotch tape is ideal because it's low tack. You can even draw on top of it actually if you want to, and if you peel it off at the end it'll come off really easily. Can you hear those seagulls? That is crazy. They are so vicious, some of those seagulls. One time, no joke, my kids think I'm lying about this, I was eating a tuna sandwich at the train station in Aberdeen and a massive seagull came down, plucked it out of my hand and flew off with it. And I was just left staring at the wrapper. I was mugged by a seagull. Right, let's get all these little flummery bits in. I'm not going to draw that outside circle, am I? No, I'm not. I'm going to draw these teardrops. You'll notice that I did draw this outline. Even though we sketched an outline on this side, still trace this line, the outline on this side, and you will see why in a second. Thank you to everybody who uploaded their pictures yesterday from their wonderful little seascapes. I didn't have time to do the gallery today, as in showing the pictures, but they were some crackers. I particularly liked, I'm sorry I can't remember your name, but you added a little diver. That made me laugh so much. Lots of cool sea monsters. Oh, and we now know how starfish move. They've got loads and loads of little leggy arm things and they sort of scuttle. But for our own purposes, we're going to maintain that that starfish that we drew yesterday is cartwheeling beneath the ocean, because that just makes me so happy. Right. How we doing, folks? Can't get the video to open. Reg, just refresh your screen. Try clicking on the little triangle to play. If it doesn't work, sit tight. Join us tomorrow. Watch back later. No biggie. There we go. Alright, I think that's everything. Is that everything? Yeah. Okay, so after you've finished sketching, tracing all the lines, there's the original, there's our sketch, original sketch. Take this away, grab your eraser, erase any bits that you've doodled. Bye bye Princess Poppy. There we go. Now, also erase everything on this side of the line. You're like, what? Apart from actually including those things there. So everything on this side of the line is going bye, 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 bye. But don't erase the line itself. There we go. So now there's our, get you lined up, semi-skull. Here's our tracing paper. We are just going to turn this over like so. Line our symmetry lines up as best we can. Good enough for me. Then grab your normal pencil. So I am using a Staedtler Lumograph HB. It'd help if it wasn't upside down for you guys. You see that? This is not the ideal point. I was using this earlier, but we'll just go with it. And we're just going to scribble on the back and transfer that drawing onto the layout paper or whatever paper that you happen to be using. There we go. Try and push quite hard, but with the side of the pencil, and not so hard that you obviously rip the tracing paper, but just hard enough that there's enough pressure that the pencil on the other side is going to transfer through. There we go. Right, I'm still holding this down really tight with this hand. I'm gonna peel up this corner and check it's all going through. Yep, fine. So we can take this away. And there we have our full skull. Now, you can either ink directly on top of this pencil line, or take a new sheet of paper, if you're using layout paper and it's thin enough, and redraw on a new, clean, fresh sheet, which is always my preferred option. but I do appreciate that not everyone has layout paper. So if you don't have layout paper and you can't see through yours to do this, just ink over the top of your sketch and we can erase the pencil lines after. Hello everybody who's just joining us. Somebody's saying this is the hard part for me, I have to practice. Denise, which part? The tracing? The lining up? Good news is it's all learnable. Nothing here that you can't do, it's just a matter of practicing a technique. Oh, this pen is a bit... Hold on a minute, folks. Ooh, that was unlucky. This is a calligraphy pen and it's got a scalloped nib. Not scalloped. Let me ditch this pen, folks. That was almost a disaster. It had a shaped nib for doing calligraphy, which would have been really difficult to draw with. There we go, that's the right one. So this is a 0.5 Staedtler fine liner, pigment liner, which is much thicker than I usually use, but I think it'll work well for the bold outlines of this, particularly if you're drawing your skull for colouring in, which I know lots of you are doing. It's so cool seeing you drawing your own artwork to colour in. I've effectively heralded my own redundancy, but what a way to retire. Right, there we go. Done the whole outline. Still always work left to right if you're right-handed. I should not have done that, but I was just trying to get the lines all smooth. I'm going to do this bit up here. What I might do is ink in all the outlines and then we'll go back and add some smaller details with probably a 0.3 or a 0.2. Now, I was listening to a podcast this morning when I was working on some drawings in the studio and I thought about you guys. So it was Design Matters with Debbie Millman, which is a wonderful creative podcast. And she was interviewing a lady who was a cartoonist, and I am so sorry that I cannot remember her name. Yep, it's gone. Anyway, she was speaking about learning to draw, and she was telling this story about when she was in art school and she was looking at her picture that she'd just drawn and she wasn't massively happy with it, and she was saying to her teacher, oh, it's just not that good, it's not right, I don't like it. And her teacher said to her, it's none of your business. And that's like such a profound thought, isn't it? Like, it is none of your business what that picture looks like. Now that it's drawn, it's out in the world, just leave it. Nobody cares about your opinion. So when you come to do your artwork, stop giving your opinion on your own work. It's none of your business. Your business is to just make the art. And I thought that was so liberating and such a lovely idea. It's like that. Have you seen that meme? Oh, what's the exact phrase? Other people's opinions of you are none of your business, which is like more of a statement about social media and, you know, worrying about what other people think about you, which is something that I am so guilty of. But it is that idea that what's the point in worrying about it? Just do the work, draw the picture. I also think there's a lot to be said for, you know, that line in Bambi, referencing another children's movie, where Thumper the rabbit says, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. And my mum used to tell me that and my little sister when we were younger. And I find myself saying that to my kids as well. And we are so good at catching ourselves when it comes to other people. We would never say to somebody that had just shared one of their pictures, that is rubbish. It looks like a 3-year-old did it. I can't believe you even drew that and are now showing me it. You would never say that to somebody else. So don't say it to yourself. There's just no need to be putting talk like that out into the world. So do yourself a huge favour and just focus on doing the work and leave the crit and the commentary out of it. Just draw the pictures. And I know that's easier said than done because we all strive for feedback and to get better at what we do, but I think bearing those principles in mind are a really good idea. My little teardrops. Now, little nose. I'm gonna draw. Did we decide if this was a daisy or a marigold? Looks a bit of both, doesn't it? Do that there. The joy of drawing with a 0.5 is that it's quite a thick nib. So you instinctively draw quick and you draw fairly large. It would be impossible to do something super detailed with this size of pen. What we can do though is to do some black really quickly. So I am just going to shade in these eyes, spooky little eye sockets. It's 3:25 already. I don't know where the time goes on these videos. I'm also going to colour it down here. There we go. Right, now I'm going to grab my 0.2 and just do a few inky details. I might actually make the nose black as well. There we go. And that kind of differentiates between decoration and skeleton. Skeletal features. Yeah, that's better. So when it comes to adding inky details, this is sort of obviously based on a kind of, this is a really thin 0.2. I'm going to pop up to 0.3. This is sort of based on the idea of a Mexican candy skull. Or sugar skull, depending on what you call them. So we're just going to add some detailing that makes this a really nice image to colour. So that means breaking up sections, adding extra outlines so there's more bits to colour. A good colouring image has lots of different shapes and different sized panels for people to colour and switch colour in. So here's an extra little outline. And then I'm going to add some little bits like this. I always like a little dot here as well, like flower power eyeballs. And let's do some veins in these little leaves. There we go. And this one. This one. I'm also going to do here. I'm going to do a couple of, I don't even know what to call these. They're sort of like teardroppy blob things. Little bits of decoration. I'm going to keep them symmetrical. If you don't want to draw those freehand, just grab your pencil and sketch them in first. And then I'm going to draw some little polka dots down here and down here. This is quite a big shape, so I might do this. Add a little stripy line. I'm going to do some dots down here. I'm going to do some dots here. Now, Mama Coco is coming on nicely. I might leave it at that. Let me just take out the sheet from underneath so you can see her. There you go. I think I'm going to do some dots around here, just following that outline. And along there. Okay, I'm quite happy with her. So that is our little skull. I'm going to zoom out so you can see her on the page. So she's not massive. This is an A4 page. She's just, how big is she? About 10 centimetres. So you could either scale that up or do her that size, and she makes a perfect little colouring sheet. Or you can use her on some Halloween invitations, a template for your pumpkin carving if you were super ambitious. I'm not really sure. Back to me. So thank you very much for watching. Today's Inky Art School is a little bit shorter than normal, but I thought it was better to have a shorter class than randomly no class at all or at a completely different time. We are going to have a different time on Thursday. I just can't get around a thing that's happening. But I'll let you know in plenty of time. And obviously, even if you can't make the live session, don't worry, because all the videos are here for you to watch whenever you want. Catch up, replay, pause, anything. They are your videos and they're going to be here forever. Thank you very much for watching. Tomorrow's class, we are drawing birds. We are going to be in the Enchanted Forest, or the forest section of the new book. You will need drawing pencil, fine liner pens, drawing paper, eraser, and that's it. And your copy of How to Draw Inky Wonderlands if you've got it. Speaking of the book, thank you so much to everybody who hopped onto Amazon and left reviews last night. Super, super helpful. I don't really understand how the internet works, but all I know is that when we have a book has more reviews, it's easier for people to find. I don't know either. Like, and as for the Facebook algorithm, no idea what is going on there. But thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to help spread the news and let other people find out what you do, what you now know, that drawing is a skill and not a talent you were born with, and anyone can learn, as you all know and are demonstrating daily. Thank you again for joining me in today's class. I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye bye.